Guys, here we go. This is the last piece of that three-piece lot. Craftsman blower, 200 mile an hour, 430 CFM. It's from, according to the sticker, 2011 regulations. I fought with this thing. I had a video I was going to post of it, but it was just way too long. And we put new fuel lines on it. Had carburetor gasket looked bad, so I swapped it out. I have my other one. There's a couple years difference between them. This is the one we got along. Was it last year? I think. And there's a video of it. I think that might not have been quite a year ago, but this one's from 2007. But they're pretty much identical. This little stuff's different. But I took the carb off of it, and it had a crappy looking carb gasket up against the base plate, so we swapped the gaskets, took the carb off of mine because I know it runs good, threw that carb on it, put it all back together, new fuel lines, fresh fuel, I mean everything, and this sucker just refuses to run. Now if you shoot it with starting fluid, it'll try to fire up. It'll start, run the fluid out. So, excuse me, what it's doing is it's not drawing fuel in from the carb into the cylinder. You know, it's also got a new plug in. I forgot about that. But so it's not drawing fuel in to the cylinder to fire like it should. So we'll have to take this cover off and see if we can kind of figure out what the problem is. I took the carburetor was on this one, I took off, put on mine. Mine started right up and ran great, so the carburetor definitely wasn't an issue. And so to get this cover off, it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. I can't tell if there's one down in the bottom here or not, but there's at least 3 Allen head bolts. We'll get the cover off, see if we can take a look at the cylinder, and see if we can find something. It's just not creating the vacuum pull, you know, to pull into the cylinder. At least that's what it's acting like. It's definitely getting fire for sure. So we'll take a look. Hopefully it's just something simple. Maybe a bad gasket or something, who knows. There really isn't much to these. There's our new plug, and see if it's a star bit. We'll see if it fits. Yeah, it's supposed to take an Allen, but the star bit fits it pretty good, so I'll give it a shot and at least get this cover off and see what we got. Because if this has, I'm not sure, being a 2-cycle, if it has a plastic cap like the weed eaters have, you go down at the bottom, the back side of the crankcase, and a little plastic cap. Some of them have a cover, some have the ones that pop in. So we'll see. Maybe it's cracked, or it's got a bad gasket or O-ring, whichever style it happens to be. Damn, what's on there? So I'm hoping we don't have to remove the tank to. So I should have drained that tank, but I didn't. No, this one, I don't have enough light to tell if there's a screw in that one or not. No, I don't think there is. Seems like it's sliding off. It's not better. It's missing. Nope. Looks like it just sits there. So you only got the 3. You have the bottom right and the 2 tops. And set that out of the way. Yeah, so it's got, you guys can see that. So it has covered like the weed eaters, but it looks to be in good shape. Let's see what we got. Well, let's see, no cracks. Maybe it's got bad seal on it, keeping it from you know, drawing the vacuum in like it needs. same size. So we'll check that out. See what we got. Nice, that's all it was. That's definitely an easy fix. Two screws. See what we got here. This is the O-ring style, and it's complete. So, if it's complete, it's leaving us with a gasket somewhere. The one gasket I didn't replace was this base plate. Or no, yeah, we did replace this gasket, and this gasket. So the carb area should be fine. The bottom of the crankcase appears to be fine. It looks like it. Look at that light. I took a pretty good knock here by the muffler. Right there. How in the world they managed that? It was a pretty good knock. I don't see nothing cracked. So everything's turning. Ooh, I see now. Head gasket. Let's see if I can get a light in here and show you guys. It's definitely a head gasket. Let's see. Make it easier if we take this tube off. And that would explain it. See if we can get you guys in here where you can see. I don't know if I can or not. You can just barely make it out. Like right there where that head bolt is. Crap, I can't see nothing. I'll lose these screws. Cab. Just drill down this, prop her up a little bit there. There we go. Now, try to get you guys where you can see, but we'll have to look. I have to get you like right in. You can see where the head's down and the head's up. Where that head bolt is, right? It looks like there's missing a. It looks like it's got a nice rub mark in it there, but I don't know how they managed that. But it looks like the gasket's gone. I'm pretty sure I can see the piston going up and down. See if I can get you in there. Can or not. If I can, it's going to be a miracle. Focus. It'll focus. I don't know if it'll focus. Let's see. Try to get you to where you can see it. Yes, you can see it. You watch, like right in the crack here, you'll see the piston, or the sleeve of the piston. So that gasket being gone, it's not letting it create the vacuum it needs to draw the gas, in through the carburetor. So the gasket right in here apparently is shot. Let's see. Oh yeah, so it looks like it's, yeah, at least around the head bolt all the way over to here is gone. So it's, yeah, probably around the other side as well. Oh yeah. What is that? Yep, that'd be it. It's actually, it was. It was facing down right there. It split. It was actually inside the cylinder right here. I must have pushed it back up. Yeah. Yeah, I can actually see my finger in there moving around. So there's our problem. So what I'm going to have to do is hopefully someone still has it. I mean, this thing's not, I don't know, terribly old for a blower. I'm sure they still use this style, but this from 2011. We'll have to figure out how to get it apart. I'll see if I can get the gasket first. If I can get the gasket, we'll rip it apart. Looks like you got one head bolt here. Looks like there's just another one across the other side. I can't tell. It almost looks like it might be out of luck. So it looks like, if you guys can see that, you guys still on it? Yeah, because it looks like the head bolt, like not the head bolt, but the head itself is pulled way up away from the case. So maybe it's a possibility they had it apart. I guess that's always a possibility. Maybe they had it apart and didn't tighten the head all the way back down and blew the gasket. It's an awful big gap between where'd that screwdriver go? Between the head bolt right here. You can see that. I can stick it. Yeah, you can see that. Look at that. You guys see that head moving? So that head bolt's loose. Either somebody's had it apart, or it just straight blew the head. You know, something screwed, one or the other. So I'm gonna have to find an Allen wrench to drop down in to see what's up with that bolt. Unless something's wrong with the casing, I don't know. But it did try to run. As long as you shoot it with ether, it'll run for like a quick second or two. Straight die. Tried to keep feeding it, and it just wasn't having it. So it's either just the head gasket itself or something's up with that bolt, but that's an awful big gap and the head's definitely loose. And so I have to see what I can find online. So then we'll do that. We'll have to figure out how this dude comes apart. It looks like the plastic splits. You see the seam there. It looks like it just separates. This side hopefully comes off, because there's no way to get down, well, at least nothing I have anyway, to be able to get down, drop down in behind this plastic to get that other head bolt. I'll look around and see what I got, but then the carb's going to have to come back off of it, so I'll take a look and see what I have and see what we can do. Alright guys, she's apart. Definitely a head gasket issue. I looked online before I took it apart, see how much a head gasket was, and ran the model number, and I definitely didn't see one like this. They was all actual gasket. This is rubber. I didn't see one on there like this, so I'm going to have to get back on there and look and try to find the correct one. Get that out of the way, and you can see where it let go. So I don't know if maybe because the threads look good on, well, at least on the bolt. I didn't see no aluminum shavings or anything when I took the bolt out. There you go. You can see right here is where it let go at, which is, so I don't know if maybe if they had it apart when because this one here, I had a heck of a time getting out. That thing was like super tight, and this one here was real loose. Obviously there was a gap, but that's right where the bolt section is right where the gasket's blowed. And you can see there it's supposed to be down in there. It's got the groove, and it just sets down in to make the seal. So I have to get back online and find it. This really isn't a bad fix. I thought it was going to be worse than what it was, but so far it hasn't been that bad. I would say I didn't split the case to get the head off. and I'm sure always short on time. But so I went ahead and fought with it. You can get it out this way, but it seems like if you split the case, it'd make it a little easier. You got if you had a real long, I got it cracked loose with a I don't know where I set it now, but an Allen wrench, and where did I set that? I was going to show you. But anyway, I set it loose, got it broke loose with one shape kind of like comes, the ones that come with the kit and they just flip open. Got the front one out, no problem. Then found the correct one that would fit it, and oh, here it is. And just ran it down through, got it all cracked loose, and then I had a flathead screwdriver and was able to run it out and took the head off. Good thing is, I mean, everything looks good. The down the cylinder, I don't know what I could do to clean that. There's a bunch of buildup in there from, of course, this thing's, now you can't see down in there, but there's buildup you can see on the piston. The inside of the cylinder, the top of the cylinder where the plug goes in, the same way. So I'll probably just clean the piston up, and I ain't worried about the cylinders. It's freaking 2-cycle. It's going to run great whether you clean it out or not, hopefully. But we'll clean it up, get some of the grime out of it. I'll get online to find that gasket, order it, because I'm about 100% positive this is the whole problem. It's got that busted gasket, so it's not letting it create the vacuum it needs to draw the fuel in through the system, into the cylinder to make it run. So I'll dig around online, find it. Of course, that's probably going to take 2 or 3 days probably to get it from once I find it to get it here. So we'll pick it up when the gasket gets here and get some of this cleaned up. Gotta get all this out of the way, man. I gotta get this bench cleaned up. It's a hot mess. But when the gasket gets here, we'll get it all back together. See how she runs. I'm sure it's gonna run great. I mean, it's even though it's old, 2011. I mean, she got what, 20 years on her, so we'll see how well it goes. All right, man. I'll see you when the gasket gets here. All right. It's been a couple days. We finally got the gasket kit in. Like I had to come across these guys on eBay. It's Randy's Engine Repair. They're here in Ohio, so actually got it pretty quick. It's like 20 bucks shipped from one side of Ohio to the other. Free shipping. But it's not a complete gasket kit. Well, I guess kind of it is. It ain't. It depends on how you want to look at it. But we got some of the stuff we're not changing. We're just changing the basics. So we got, which the main thing for us was the head gasket, which is here. Exhaust. This is the part where the plastic for the piece. This is where your carb hooks to. This is the side that goes against the head, and your carb hooks to that. It's the O-ring for the plastic cap that goes into the side of the case there. So I'll go ahead and change it since it's there. And the carb gasket. But so we'll get it together here. It's kind of not skeptical, but it's kind of hard to match up the exact gasket kit, because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find the exact model number. I found one, it was like 1 digit off. It was 1 digit off from this one, but it was both 25cc. And so I figured what the heck, went for it. The bad thing about these, I'm surprised these things are so cheaply made. I guess I kind of am, because the head gasket, all it is just a piece of rubber. There's the old one. You can see where it let go there, that's right where that bolt was at. And the new one just pops right into place there. It's all perfectly shaped. Has a little tab, so you can line it up and make sure it's right. So I mean, it went straight on, no problem. This sets in there. Just make sure the groove is cleaned out. You want to make sure it's setting flat. And so actually, this really isn't a bad job to do as long as you feel like taking the time to do it. And rubber seal the O-rings the same way. It just rolls right off. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that one, but since it's there, I'll go ahead and use it. Now the other seals, I'm not going to rip it completely apart to put those in. Since it's not that drastic, I'll save them in case I come across something else. Because this one, I mean, you never know, there could be something wrong with this casing or something wrong with the surface of the head. So, it just rolls right on. Good to go. And just got to get the piston put back in the head. Got the head cleaned up all the surfaces. So got her cleaned up and do the head gasket and what to do with the piston. I cleaned the piston up a little bit. I didn't go too extreme on it. I just knocked off some of the garbage that was on it. And let's back it out some, I guess. There's your intake side. It's your exhaust port. The piston should, there it goes. Say that piston, just tweak it a little bit. It'll go right in there for you because you're going to have to, it's the easiest way I found to do it was to put the piston into the head first. And then you can move it around. And it just drops down. If you guys can see that. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me show you where it hooks onto the shaft down there. I'll get you up here where you can see where it sticks out. You'll see it if you take it apart. You'll see it. Yeah, this thing didn't want to go that way. Here, I'll show you, just in case somebody's curious. But you can see it here. Right here is where your, it's kind of down. There we go. Let me get myself out of the light. You can see where the rod sticks out. So your head just goes on. You drop your rod down in there. Just make sure you have all your bearings in there, or you've really got a problem. It just slides right on, just like that. So now you can see it just slides right onto that pin. You're good to go. A little tough one-handed, but it's really not that hard. It's hard for me to just try the camera on the tripod and anything. I figured, hey, 20 bucks. If it does the job, that's great. $20 well spent. At least we'll see. Like I was saying, the only problem I had is because I was, not necessarily being lazy about it, but I'm going to spin this around to where the piston drops down. Right there. Okay. It'd be a lot easier if you split the case in half, but I didn't. Probably should have, but I didn't. And there's one of our bolts. Come on. Let's try in the front. These should be identical. Yep. Same. Get down in there, you little booger. There's that one. This one apparently is going to give me fits. Allen wrench. Oh, that's right. Okay, my fault. I forgot about this part. The hole. Forgot all about that one. So I'll take it back off to show you. can't believe I forgot that. But the hole in the top of the head, oh, you can see how open this one is. Hopefully, yeah, you can see how open this one is. The one on the inside is not as big around as that. See if we can get this head to spin some. There we go. So you can see where the hole is smaller, so the bolt won't drop down. It'll just sit on top. It won't go down in for you. So what you're going to have to do is, it's got the big gap right here. So just put it on there. Well, I'll get it where you want it. And then turn it in. There we go. Get it lined up. And the easiest way I found to do it was make sure I got the right screwdriver. Was I used a flathead. Oh no, it isn't that one. It's this one. I'm sorry. Get a flathead that fits it, and it's what I use to after I crack the screws loose. That's what I used to back them all out with. I figured I'd do it the same way as far as getting them in. Now online, I've done some digging, and I could not find the torque settings for these. So I honestly, I do not know what these should be torqued at. I just know it's just a little rubber seal, so. But it's down in a groove, so you shouldn't have to worry about splitting it. I think the problem with this one is, because I checked the threads and everything, and the bolt was dropping down like it should, but it had that big gap, so it almost looked like they had an issue. Took it apart, put it back together, and didn't tighten that screw all the way back up. Is what it looked like to me, but yeah. So I'm just going to torque them down to where they're nice and tight. Just don't want to overdo it, because you got to remember that casing is aluminum. You strip that dude out, you're really going to have problems. This one's a bear. This is why I was saying you're better off splitting the case in half, but I'm not going to worry about it. There we go. I'll fight with it, just so you can see how bad it actually is. There we go. So that takes care of the head. Nice and easy. That's why I didn't bother splitting the case. I mean, depending on what kind of Allen heads you have, you can get down into the back side with no problem without having to take the time to split this off and mess with all the electronics and fighting with the pull cord, and which I'm sure is not that bad in reality, but it's one step I wanted to try to avoid. We've got our cap with our new seal on it. And so that leaves getting the carb hooked back up and the muffler hooked back up. Those are pretty basic. That, and I did find out they had some, almost 100% positive it was a part, because when I took this muffler off, the gasket is supposed to set, when I was told the gasket, how it's got the curve, the gasket sets against the muffler, and then you have your metal piece that goes behind it. This side goes against the block, and it sets, it's supposed to set like this, and they had it the opposite when I took it off. it was totally the opposite, and the gasket was, which I think it's still sitting here. I can show you. Maybe I pitched it, but they had the anyway. The gasket was it was the opposite direction, so everything was just bent on a crap. No, I don't see it. I was wanting to show you, but anyway, it should sit like this. Get the plug wire out of the way. It's just the 2 screws. Kind of a snug fit. Just want to make sure it's lined up right. Okay, where you can see it. And what do I do with the bit? Oh, I had it. What do I do with it? Here it is. Dropped it. So, get this one started. Hopefully. Start. Nope. Let's try the other one. Yeah, it started. There we go. Just want to get them both going, make sure they're straight. This is the same deal. You know, it's all going into cast aluminum, so you want to be careful not to strip anything out. I'm hoping that's all this thing needs is just that head gasket. That'd be sweet. Well, sweet for Chris, but so there you go. You can see. Let me show you. You can see where. Oh, come on. There we go. Where the metal piece behind the muffler, how it curves in. And if I get out of the light, you can see it. It comes down and curves in. And it's got the gasket on the other side. And when we took it off, everything was the opposite. So we got that taken care of. And put our cover back on. It should be, I believe it's the coarse thread. Yep, should be these two, I believe. Do believe. So I usually put them back in when I take them out. If I got something that's going to set apart like this. So I'll put the screws back into where they came out from, so I do not forget where they came from. Just for that purpose. Helps you avoid the old guessing game. And make sure everything goes in nice and straight and smooth. Everything else, you don't want to overdo it. No gap, everything looks good and tight. Need to get some more light down here so you guys can see. It's all nice and smooth, tight, so it should be good to go. The cover or the plug, I'll do the plug last, so that way I ain't got to fight with the cover to get it over it. And that leaves, get this stuff out of the way. So we got our muffler on, our cover on, the head's bolted down, so that leaves the plastic piece for the carb. This is where the carb, what the carb hooks up to. So it came with a new seal. This is actually off the other blower. So these seals that are in here, these gaskets are actually new, so I don't want to waste this one just for that one. So we're just going to go ahead and bolt it all back up. So make sure you got it the right way, which it kind of only, in reality, only goes one way. But we'll get her on there, and star bit. This one, same way. If you have the, yeah, one way, upside down. The cover split. It'd probably make this a lot easier too. Because this one up here can get a little tight. But it's not bad. It's beats buying a new blower. I guess it depends on what's wrong with the one you have, I reckon. Good, tight, everything looks straight. Okay. Piston moving, yeah. Piston's moving. Oh yeah. I didn't know it has compression. Before it didn't have squat. Okay, it leaves our tank. Well, let's get our rod back on real quick before I get too far. Where are you at? It is clear up in here. And it goes, I believe, yep, just like that. So it'd be kind of hard to fight with that with the carb and everything already on. That might be a booger of a deal. There we go. A little easier this time. Had to fight with it last time. Okay. So here's the tank. Get the bolts in. This should be the bolts for it. You only have the two. They're fine thread. I don't know if that's the same. It might be the same store bit. Yep. Okay. So it's really not that bad. Good and snug. And you got to remember, we already put new lines, got new fuel lines, a new fuel stone, new spark plug. This carb is off the other blower, but if I leave it on or not, I think I'll have to switch them back at some times. I think what part of the cosmetic difference between the two in the years was this plastic. Was the plastic cap where it goes on. So yeah, there's that bent up exhaust gasket. And so that was part of the deal with it, is the cover. I have the cover and everything to my other blower, but so at some point I'll have to switch everything back over, and just wanted to see if everything runs. Which it should, I hope. We get our fuel or our linkage hooked back up. Carb sits there. We get our two bolts. Oh, you know what I actually forgot? I can't believe I forgot it. Duh. Well, actually, this one won't need it. Actually, I didn't forget it. It calls mine. That I have, it calls for a different intake gasket or carb gasket. So this is the one that comes with the kit. It's actually a universal kit, but so it has the correct rubber gasket for underneath, but it has a different style. This plastic has a different style. The rubber in here, it takes the rubber seal instead of the paper gasket. So it should be just fine because this plastic and this carb's off the other blower. So we should be good. If for some reason it don't start and gives us fits, then I'll take the time to change them out. But I'm thinking it'll be fine. At least I hope. There we go. Hopefully it's the same bit. Yep, there she goes. Okay. Get this one in a little bit and then start the other one. Make sure it's all good and lined up. Yeah, she's going. Okay. Get this one caught up. Here we go. So before, with the head gasket blown, about 100% positive that's why it wasn't sucking fuel in, because it was pumping up like it should. I mean, just like that, its primer ball is working good, but for it to run, it wasn't sucking the fuel in like it should, and I'm 100% sure it's because of the blowed head gasket. It wasn't creating the vacuum it needed to pull. Where's our cover? Here's our cover. So we're about to find out if I was right. The cover's just 3 bolts. Just kind of a snug fit there. There we go. Those 3 are fine thread. Or not fine thread, coarse thread. And hopefully it's the same one. Yep, so for the screws take the same star bit, so that makes it nice. That one started. This one. And we got one more on the bottom. That one's kind of down in there. It came out. Alright, man. We ain't far from it. A couple more screws and tighten these 2 up and get the plug in it. We'll take her out and see if she fires up. I do it down here, my wife would kick my butt, man. I found this house full of fumes. Alright, spark plug socket. Oh. Yep, good and tight. I think, yep. Don't want to overdo it. There we go. Well, minus the air filter and the cap that goes on it. He's good. So I'll get the tube on it. We'll take it outside and see if it'll fire up. Alright, here we go. Okay. Let's see. Get her primed up. I hope this works. Where's our choke at? Alright, choke's on. Look. Definitely stiffer to pull. carb, I guess. Who knows? Well, maybe we're out of luck. Now my arm definitely ain't up to it. Alright. Come on. Alright, find, hate to do it. I'm gonna go find some starting fluid. Alright, here we go. Hate to do it, but make sure I didn't screw something up on the inside. Give her a shot now. Well, takes care of that part. I guess it's definitely a head gasket. See if it'll blow a little bit of stuff around. Oh yeah. Yep, there you have it. Head gasket. Not too bad of a fix. I'm sure my neighbors are loving that, considering it's late at night. Well, not late, but it's after dark. But so there you go, man. It's 2011 25cc Craftsman. So it's 25cc. I think this one was a 40-to-1 mix. Yeah, 40-to-1 mix. So we got new fuel lines, the fuel stone. I did not replace the primer ball. This is the carb off the other blower. New plug, new head gasket. So I will have to take and I still got to switch these back. That's part of the cosmetic issue that is different. So I got to get at least the cover, and possibly I think the choke lever on them are different. So I might have to switch the carbs back also. I'll have to check them out, but that's no big deal. It's just a couple screws, swap them back out in the fuel lines, you know, unhook them, hook them back up. But that'll do it, man. It's a pretty good deal. I mean, so far, you know, he paid $20 for the 3. Took $20 to get the weed eater going. Took $20 to get the blower going. And so he's what, $60, and he has a perfectly good weed eater and blower. The other trimmer is a handful. You guys seen that video. I'm having a heck of a time tracking down the upper shaft for it without having to pay the price of a new weed eater. But I'll keep looking. So, but it's a win, bro. Definitely a win. And thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you help us get this channel going. Subscribe, share, you know, like, leave comments, whatever it takes. Get her going. And the piece, once I get the cover back on, I found that piece on eBay. It's like it was, a guy had one. It was this plastic piece with the cover and filter for like $8 used. So said put this blower at $28. So you can't beat that, you know, minus your labor, which, you know, I'm doing it for free, so there's no labor involved. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you get the channel, help us get it going. Thanks for watching.